Chosen one, God is furious with these people, and he has every right to be, because they didn't just mistreat anyone, they tortured an innocent soul. You, a soul chosen, pure-hearted, divinely protected. They gossiped, betrayed, plotted against someone whose hands were clean. And now, heaven is roaring, judgment has begun. God is demanding honor on your name, and this time the whole world's gonna watch him set the record straight. Here's what's really happening behind the scenes, and trust me, this gets intense. There's a person from your past who's been carrying a secret so heavy, it's literally making them sick. Every time they close their eyes, they see your face from that moment when you realize just how deep the betrayal went. That look of shock, of pain, of complete disbelief that people you trusted could orchestrate something so cruel. This person started it all. They needed someone to take the blame for their own failures, their own reputation damage, their own mess. So they chose you as their scapegoat. But here's the thing that's eating them alive now. You were completely innocent. You gave nothing but love. You were the blessing everyone around you needed, the one who showed up with genuine care, who offered support without expecting anything back. You were the light in rooms full of darkness, and instead of protecting that light, they snuffed it out to save themselves. The manipulation was surgical. This person spread carefully crafted lies about you, painting you as the villain in a story where you were actually the victim. They convinced entire groups of people, friends, family members, community circles, that you were the problem. They created an elaborate illusion that you had done something terrible, something unforgivable. You believed them for a while. You started questioning yourself, wondering if maybe you really had done something wrong. That's how good they were at psychological warfare. They had you doubting your own reality. The way they set it up was masterful in its cruelty. They would plant seeds of doubt in conversations, make subtle comments that painted you in a negative light, share selective information that made you look guilty of things you never even considered doing. They turned your kindness into evidence of manipulation. They twisted your generosity into proof of ulterior motives. They reframed your loyalty as weakness and your forgiveness as enabling. Every good thing you had ever done for them became ammunition in their campaign against you. Remember how you supported them through their difficult times? They told people you were trying to control them. Remember how you offered advice when they were struggling? They claimed you were being condescending and judgmental. Remember how you forgave them when they hurt you? They said it proved you were manipulative because normal people would have fought back. But the attacks didn't stop there. Oh no, that was just the beginning. Other people jumped on the bandwagon. There was someone younger, someone who thrives on drama and chaos, who saw an opportunity to join the mob. They started spreading gossip, adding their own twisted details to the story. What began as one person's lie became a community sport. This younger person had their own reasons for wanting to see you fall. Maybe they were jealous of your success, your peace, your ability to maintain your integrity in difficult situations. Maybe they saw you as competition for attention or resources. Or maybe they just enjoyed the thrill of participating in someone's destruction because it made them feel powerful. They became the amplifier for the original lie. Every story got bigger when it passed through them. Every accusation became more dramatic. Every piece of gossip became more scandalous. They turned your supposed wrongdoings into entertainment, sharing updates about your situation like it was their favorite television show. And the twisted part is that they recruited others. They found people who barely knew you and convinced them to join the attack. They created group chats dedicated to discussing your alleged crimes. They organized social media campaigns to isolate you. They made hating you into a bonding activity for people who had nothing better to do with their time. They made attacking you their entertainment. Group chats lighting up with your name. Social media posts designed to humiliate you. Whisper campaigns that followed you everywhere you went. They turned your pain into their pastime. The psychological warfare was relentless. They would coordinate their attacks to maximize damage. One person would start a rumor, another would confirm it with fabricated evidence, a third would spread it to new circles, and a fourth would add emotional manipulation to make people feel justified in their hatred toward you. They studied your responses, looking for signs of weakness they could exploit. When you tried to defend yourself, they called you aggressive. When you remained silent, they said your silence was proof of guilt. When you showed emotion, they labeled you unstable. When you stayed calm, they claimed you were cold and calculating, and through it all, you kept your composure. You didn't fight back with the same dirty tactics. You didn't spread lies about them in return. You took the high road, even when it felt like it was leading you off a cliff. There were moments when you wanted to expose them the way they were exposing you. You had information about their real character, their hidden struggles, and their private failures. You could have destroyed their reputations just as thoroughly as they were destroying yours. But something inside you, that divine spark that marks you as chosen, wouldn't let you descend to their level. Instead, you withdrew. You started limiting your interactions with toxic people. You began protecting your energy more carefully. You focused on your spiritual growth, your personal development, and your connection to something greater than the chaos around you. The original perpetrator is watching all of this unfold, and something inside them is breaking. They're starting to realize that they've created a monster they can't control. The attacks on you have become so vicious, so relentless, that even they're horrified by what they've unleashed. They're seeing people they care about consumed with hatred toward you, and they know it's based on lies they told. They're watching the younger troublemaker take things further than they ever intended. They're witnessing their community become a toxic wasteland of gossip and cruelty, all centered around destroying someone who never deserved it, and the guilt is becoming unbearable. What they're experiencing right now are physical symptoms from the guilt. Back pain from carrying the weight of what they've done. Headaches that won't go away. They can't eat properly because their stomach is twisted in knots. The stress is manifesting in their body because their soul knows they've committed a grave injustice against someone pure. Their sleep is disrupted by nightmares about your situation. They wake up in cold sweats, remembering moments when you showed them genuine kindness that they later weaponized against you. They're having anxiety attacks when they see your name mentioned anywhere. Their body is rebelling against the lies they've told because deep down they know the truth. They keep replaying moments in their mind. Your kindness to them when they didn't deserve it. Your generosity when they were struggling. Your loyalty when others had abandoned them. They remember now, really remember, who you actually are. And the contrast between your true nature and the lies they told about you is making them physically ill. There was that time you helped them when they were financially struggling, and you never asked for anything in return. There was that moment when everyone else doubted them, but you stood by their side. There was that conversation when you offered them emotional support during their darkest hour, listening without judgment and offering wisdom without condescension. They remember how you celebrated their successes genuinely, without a trace of jealousy. They remember how you forgave their mistakes quickly and completely. They remember how you saw the best in them, even when they couldn't see it in themselves. And now they've repaid all of that goodness with betrayal so complete, so devastating, that they can barely live with themselves. Meanwhile, the divine has been watching this entire situation unfold. And let me tell you something, chosen one. The divine is not pleased. You've been praying for protection, asking for this nightmare to end. for people to just leave you alone so you can live in peace. You've been meditating, seeking guidance, trying to understand why this is happening to you when you've done nothing to deserve it. Your prayers have been heard, and the response is about to be overwhelming. The divine sees everything, every lie that was told about you, every moment of cruelty you endured, every tear you cried in private, every time you chose forgiveness over revenge, every instance when you could have fought dirty but chose to maintain your integrity instead. The divine has been taking notes, and the accounting is about to come due. The divine is calling this original perpetrator to account, not through human intervention, but through that undeniable inner voice that won't let them rest. They're being compelled to tell the truth, to clear your name, to admit publicly that you were innocent all along. The following is a message from Mike, founder of the Obsidian Inner Order, powered by Astral Atom. Look, I know you came here for your chosen one video, but I need a minute. If I don't speak this into the field now, I might never forgive myself. Some of us were born into fire, abused, exiled, haunted by truths no one around us could hold. That doesn't mean we're cursed. It means we were chosen to walk through the veil and come back with the map. Inside the Obsidian Inner Order, we gather every week, live on Zoom, face to face. And when I say real people, I mean it. A former military drone operator who now uses his mind as the remote. A millionaire CFO who walked away from everything to become a psychic in Noosa. A spiritual healer once trapped inside a satanic cult. A seer, a sage, a soul who left Mormonism and found the Gnosis instead. These are the ones who gave it all up when their calling hit. And that's just a glimpse. And every call is recorded. So when you're alone, when you're crawling through the dirt of your own awakening, you can press play and feel the field again. This is not for everyone, but maybe it's for you. Can you see yourself among us? Join the Obsidian Inner Order. Link in the description. Thank you all for supporting the broadcast. We quite literally could not do this without you. The pressure they're feeling isn't just guilt, it's divine intervention. Every meditation session ends with thoughts of you. Every prayer they attempt is interrupted by memories of what they've done. Every moment of potential peace is shattered by the knowledge that they've wronged someone under divine protection. They're getting signs everywhere they look. Your name appears in unexpected places. Songs on the radio seem to be about situations like yours. Random conversations remind them of their betrayal. The universe is conspiring to keep your innocence at the forefront of their consciousness. But they're terrified. They know that if they confess, if they admit they lied about you, then all those people who joined the attack will turn on them instead. They'll become the new target. The same vicious treatment they allowed to happen to you will happen to them. The younger troublemaker who's been amplifying the attacks would immediately pivot to destroying them. The grudge holders who joined the campaign would redirect their anger toward the person who misled them. The community that united in hating, you would fragment and reform around a new enemy, the one who lied to them in the first place. They're envisioning their social media accounts flooded with accusations, their reputation demolished, their relationships destroyed, their career damaged. Everything they tried to protect by sacrificing you would be lost anyway if they tell the truth. So they're trying to have it both ways. They're starting to defend you in small ways, trying to quiet some of the gossip, attempting to redirect the conversation away from attacking you. But they're not willing to take full responsibility yet. They want to protect you without exposing themselves. They'll make subtle comments like, maybe we should focus on our own lives instead of worrying about what others are doing. They'll try to change the subject when people bring up your name. They'll suggest that perhaps the attacks have gone far enough without actually admitting that the attacks were unjustified from the beginning. And the divine is saying, not good enough. The message coming through is crystal clear. Either they tell the complete truth and restore your honor, or face consequences that will make their current guilt seem like nothing. Because partial truth isn't truth at all. Defending you quietly while allowing the lie to persist publicly isn't justice. Feeling guilty privately while maintaining their reputation publicly isn't accountability. The divine demands complete restoration, full acknowledgement of your innocence, public admission of their deception, total vindication of your character. Nothing less will satisfy the requirements of justice. Because while this internal battle is raging, something else is happening to your attackers. The karma they've been accumulating is starting to manifest in their physical world. Remember how they made your life miserable? The health problems are coming for them now. Serious conditions that can't be easily fixed. The stress of carrying hatred and malice is breaking down their bodies from the inside. Some of them are dealing with heart issues. Ironic, considering how heartless they've been toward you. Others are facing organ problems, their bodies literally failing them as a reflection of their spiritual bankruptcy. The younger troublemaker is starting to experience anxiety disorders that make it difficult for them to function normally. The constant adrenaline rush from creating drama is catching up with them, leaving their nervous system fried and their mental health in shambles. The grudge holders are developing chronic conditions that mirror the bitterness they've been carrying. Their immune systems are compromised from the negative emotions they've been nurturing. Their sleep is disrupted by the very hatred they've been feeding. Even the peripheral players, the ones who just went along with the crowd, are facing their own consequences. Financial problems seem to appear out of nowhere. Relationship issues that they can't quite explain. Professional setbacks that feel disproportionate to any mistakes they might have made. You're going to start hearing about these developments, probably through social media or mutual connections. Person after person who participated in attacking you is going to face their own crisis, and it's not going to be subtle. The pattern will become unmistakable. Everyone who contributed to your suffering will find themselves struggling in ways that feel eerily connected to how they treated you. The lies they told about you will become truths about their own situations. The isolation they tried to impose on you will become their reality. The pain they inflicted on you will circle back to visit them, and you'll watch it happen with a mixture of sadness and relief. Sadness because you never wanted anyone to suffer, not even your enemies. Relief because finally the universe is acknowledging that what happened to you was wrong. The younger troublemaker who made sport of your pain. They're about to learn what real consequences feel like. The grudge holders who couldn't let go of their imaginary grievances. Their time is up. The followers who jumped on the bandwagon without even knowing the real story. They're all going to wish they had minded their own business. Some of these consequences will be immediate and obvious. Others will unfold slowly over time. Some will be temporary lessons that allow for redemption. Others will be permanent changes that serve as lasting reminders of the cost of attacking innocence. It's not just about punishment. It's about restoration. While your enemies are falling apart, you're being lifted up. The success you've been building, the peace you've been cultivating, the abundance that's been flowing into your life, it's all part of a larger plan to vindicate you publicly. Your career is about to take a turn that surprises everyone, including yourself. Opportunities that seemed impossible are going to present themselves. Resources that were blocked are going to become available. Connections that were severed are going to be restored, while new and better relationships are going to form. People are going to see the contrast. They're going to watch your attackers crumble while you continue to rise, and they're going to start asking questions. How is it that the person everyone was calling the villain is thriving while all the supposed heroes are struggling? How is it that you're radiating health and happiness while they're consumed by problems? The cognitive dissonance will be impossible to ignore. If you were really the terrible person they claimed you were, wouldn't you be facing consequences too? If their attacks were justified, wouldn't the universe be supporting their cause instead of opposing it? Instead, they're seeing the opposite. You're glowing with an inner peace that can't be faked. Your success has an effortless quality that suggests divine favor. Your resilience in the face of their attacks demonstrates a strength that comes from being aligned with truth. The truth has a way of revealing itself, even when people try to bury it. And speaking of truth, the divine has a specific plan for your vindication. The original perpetrator is going to be forced to make a choice. They can either step forward voluntarily and tell everyone the truth about your innocence, or they can wait for the truth to come out in a way that's much more humiliating for them, because the truth is coming out either way. Evidence of your innocence is going to surface from unexpected sources. People who witnessed their deception are going to find their courage to speak up. Documentation that contradicts their lies is going to be discovered. The inconsistencies in their story are going to become impossible to ignore. Maybe someone kept screenshots of conversations that prove your innocence. Maybe there are witnesses to events that contradict the official narrative. Maybe financial records or timestamps or location data will demonstrate that their accusations were impossible. Or maybe the truth will come out through their own contradictions. Lies are hard to maintain consistently over time. Details change, stories evolve. People forget which version they told to which audience. Eventually, the web of deception becomes so tangled that it collapses under its own weight. The divine is preparing a stage for your vindication that will be impossible to ignore. Not through your efforts. You don't need to do anything except continue being your authentic self. The restoration of your reputation is being handled at a level far above human manipulation and politics. But there's something else happening that's even more significant than public vindication. The divine is moving you, not just emotionally or spiritually, but physically. There's a relocation in your future, a complete change of environment that will remove you from this toxic situation entirely. You've been getting nudges, thoughts about moving somewhere new, starting fresh, leaving the dysfunction behind. Those aren't random thoughts. They're divine guidance preparing you for your next chapter. Maybe you've been seeing repeated references to certain cities or regions. Maybe job opportunities in distant locations have been presenting themselves unexpectedly. Maybe you've been feeling drawn to places you've never considered before. Maybe financial resources for relocation have been appearing in ways you didn't anticipate. The move is going to be strategic. You'll need to handle it quietly, without broadcasting your plans to the people who have been attacking you. There's wisdom in moving in silence, in not giving your enemies advance notice of your departure. This isn't about running away or admitting defeat. This is about the divine removing you from a situation that was never worthy of your presence in the first place. You're being elevated to a level where their attacks can't reach you anymore. Chapter. New location is going to be perfect for your growth and success. The community there will appreciate your gifts instead of attacking them. The opportunities available will match your talents and aspirations. The energy of the place will support your healing and expansion. And this is why the timing is so important. The divine wants you out of the area before the really serious consequences hit your attackers. The karma that's building up around that community is going to be substantial. There might even be larger events, natural disasters, economic upheavals, social chaos that affect the entire region, and you're going to be safely relocated before any of that touches you. The community that turned against you is going to face a reckoning that goes beyond individual consequences. The toxic culture they created by attacking innocence is going to attract larger problems. Economic difficulties that force businesses to close. Social unrest makes the area less desirable. Natural events that require evacuation or rebuilding. While you're being positioned for blessing, they're being positioned for accountability. The person who started this whole nightmare is going to have to face not just their own guilt, but the judgment of everyone they manipulated. When the truth comes out, and it will, all those people who attacked you on their word are going to feel betrayed themselves. They're going to realize they were used as weapons against an innocent person. The social consequences for the original perpetrator are going to be severe, but more than that, they're going to have to live with knowing they destroyed something beautiful. Your trust, your peace, your sense of safety and community, for no reason other than their own cowardice. And the divine's message to them right now is uncompromising. You will restore what you destroyed. You will tell the truth. You will publicly acknowledge this person's innocence and take full responsibility for the lies you told. You will do this because it's right and because your peace depends on it. But for you, chosen one, the message is different. You don't need to wait for their confession to move forward. You don't need their apology to know your worth. You don't need public vindication to understand your value. You're being called to something greater than this petty drama. While they're consumed with guilt and fear, you're being prepared for a level of blessing that will make their opinions irrelevant. The abundance that's coming into your life isn't just material, though there will be plenty of that. It's abundance of peace, of genuine relationships, of purpose, of joy. You're about to enter a season where the contrast between your old life and your new life will be so stark that you'll hardly recognize yourself. Financial breakthrough is on the horizon. Career advancement that seemed impossible is becoming inevitable. Relationships that nurture your soul are being arranged. Creative opportunities that express your true gifts are being prepared. And when people from your past see what you've become, when they witness the level of blessing and success you're operating in, they're going to understand something profound. They didn't just attack a person, they attacked someone under divine protection. They didn't just hurt you, they positioned themselves as enemies of the divine plan for your life. That's why the consequences for them are so severe. That's why the justice is so thorough. That's why the vindication is so complete. You weren't chosen for this experience because you deserved the pain. You were chosen because you could handle the transformation that comes after the pain. You were selected because your character could withstand the pressure and emerge even more refined. The attacks on you weren't random. They were a test of your resolve, your faith, your commitment to staying true to yourself, even when everyone around you was lying about who you are, and you passed. Now comes the reward phase. Now comes the elevation. Now comes the vindication that will be so complete, so undeniable, that even your worst enemies will have to acknowledge what they tried to destroy. The divine isn't just angry about what was done to you. The divine is actively working to ensure that your story becomes a testimony of justice restored and innocence vindicated. Your name will be cleared, your reputation will be restored, your honor will be acknowledged, and your future will be so bright that this dark chapter will seem like nothing more than a brief shadow before the dawn. The people who tortured you are about to learn a lesson they'll never forget, and you're about to step into a blessing they could never imagine. Justice is coming, chosen one, and it's coming with your name on it.